In this video, I'm going to be installing a set of roller rocker stud girdles. These are from TrickFlow. They're made for the twisted wedge head. I have the 185 CNC models on my car. They come with the girdle, the girdles, and the hardware. There's no instructions. That's it. These are part numbered. TFS 514-00701, stud girdle, twisted wedge, small block Ford 7/16 stud. So I was going to save this job until the spring, but I have to lash the valves, and I got a leaky valve cover gasket, so I got it all apart. I figured I would throw them on since I'm in there lashing the valves and all that anyways. Plus, I don't have many more opportunities to race the car before they close for the winter. So I'm just trying to get every last little bit out of it that I can before I park it. So that's kind of another reason why we're just going to go ahead and throw them on now. I'll get the car apart and I'll kind of take you through some things and you can see how they go on. Like I said, there's not much to them, so I don't think it's going to be too difficult of a task. Let's get going. Let's get this party started. That's no good. That's supposed to drop the washers on the floor. I have studs. I have valve cover studs. I don't run valve cover bolts. So washers can be a little tricky to get off of here. Sometimes I just pull the valve cover with the washer still on. That's just kind of easier that way. What I'm going to do, be careful not to drop a washer down somewhere where you're not going to be able to find it. Might help if I take all the nuts off. Okay, I'll get an up close shot for you, but I'm running for rocker arms a set of Harlan Sharp twisted wedge specific rocker arms. They have a little bit of an offset on them. So they're a really, really nice high quality piece. Okay, I got to get a breaker bar to roll the motor over, an extension and all that, so I can lash the, so I can lash the valves when it comes time. Let me go ahead and I'll move the camera in a little bit closer. You can see what I got going on here. Okay, so these are the Harlan Sharp rockers. Like I said, they're a 1.6 ratio. One thing about these, you can see the intake rockers are marked intake. So exhaust, intake, exhaust, intake. So you can see it's printed on all of them. So like I said, very nicely made pieces. I am also running titanium retainers, and I am running all pack springs, locks, retainers, even pack valve spring shims. So the whole valve train is right now is Harlan Sharp and pack, and it's a LS style spring setup, and I'm really happy with how they've performed it so far. So. Okay, just a quick look of the cylinder head with the rocker arms removed. I forgot to mention these are Trend 5/16 hardened push rods. I pulled all the push rods out and checked them for wear, anything unusual, and they all checked out perfect. So I just went ahead and put them right back in. But I just wanted to get a quick look of this with the rocker arms removed. Okay, I just wanted to give you a quick look at this rocker. This is one of the intake rockers. I mentioned before that they were offset rocker arms, and you can see here just barely the push rod cup is offset to the right of the center line of where the stud comes through the fulcrum. So, but this is what they look like from the underside. And I went and checked everything while it was apart. All the rocker arms look really good, no unusual wear or anything like that. So these can go right back in. Okay, something else I wanted to show you real quick was the difference in the hardware. So this is the standard poly lock and set screw arrangement for a regular stud mount setup, and this is the poly lock and the set screw assembly for the stud girdle. On the one for the stud girdle, this set screw right here is way down inside the body of the poly lock. So other than that, they're pretty much the same. Just this one's obviously, as you can see, is taller. So a little kind of better look at these stud girdles is they just unbolt here, bolts go in the top, and you just unbolt them, separate the halves, and bolt them on, and then tighten them up. So they go on pretty easily. It's not a big deal putting them on. Like I said, they didn't come with instructions, but it's not a big deal to put them on. You can see I got everything reinstalled back on the car, and I can start lashing the valves. I just wanted to show you guys something just to give you an idea too how tall this stuff is. This is one of the original poly locks, and this is one of the replacements to go with the stud girdle. You can see there's quite a bit of difference in the height. So these should clear my valve covers. It's something to think about when you're putting something like this on your car, is your valve cover clearance. Okay, the driver's side is done. First thing I did was I reinstalled the rocker arms, and I set the lash on all the valves. And then I rolled the motor over about 4 or 5 times. And then I went back through and double checked the lash on all the valves, and everything was still good. Nothing loosened up or moved around. So I went ahead and mounted the girdle on the poly locks. So when I bolted it on, I just made sure that my gaps were nice and even all the way across there. I didn't want to get too crazy. It is just aluminum, and I didn't want to over tighten and strip anything. So what I did also is I put grease on the threads of the bolts. There's a bolt here, bolt here, bolt here, and a bolt here. And I greased the threads of the bolt so they didn't gall on the aluminum, and I greased the underside of the socket bolt cap, or Allen bolt is what they're commonly known as. Anyways, I put grease on the underside, so I just got a nice smooth torque process, and I tightened it up, same way like you would do a cylinder head or an intake manifold, just kind of in sequence. I didn't go crazy. I just got it snug and made sure it was where I wanted it to be. Then I went ahead and tightened it up to finish it off. One thing I did do too is my buddy Neil over at Stickman's Garage gave me a great tip. He said to make sure I mount this, the girdle up high on the poly lock. So I did that, and then I rolled the motor over and got the rocker arm here at max lift, and you can see I've got plenty of room underneath between the rocker arm and the girdle, so I don't have to worry about that hitting. So this is all set. Like I said, it's ready to go back together, so I'll put the new gasket on and throw the valve cover on and button this side up. I'm going to do the passenger side too. I won't really get into a whole lot on that because it's, just wash, rinse, and repeat. But I'll hit a couple of highlights on that side, and then this job will be done. This will be another winter job checked off the list. So one less thing to do over the winter. So that's it. I'll put it back together, and I will move over to the passenger side. In case you were wondering how much clearance there is between the girdle and the valve cover, with my Ford Motorsport valve covers on here, I can stick my finger in here and I can feel there's plenty of room. Now, I'm not running a baffle though, so if you're running baffles on yours, if the baffles fit pretty tight against a valve cover, then I think you'll be more than fine. If they stick down a little ways, well then I don't know, you'll have to verify that yourself. But with my setup, these tall valve covers, no baffles, there's a ton of clearance. Okay, so I have moved to the passenger side and I am pulling the valve cover off, as you can see. Quick glance, everything looks okay in here. Wasn't having any issues, so I'm not expecting any problems. Grab a breaker bar and I will bar the motor over and get these rocker arms off. Have to make sure these go back on the cylinder they came off of. So I have my cardboard over here that I have some numbers marked out on, so I know where the rocker arms go. Pretty high tech cardboard and Sharpie. All right, well, the rockers are off. Let's take a look at the push rods. Make sure they're good. Now they tell you to, I'm just making sure the ends aren't beat up and that the push rods are straight. They tell you to roll the push rods on a piece of glass or like a hard, flat surface, and you can check the push rods for any wobbling, but these don't have many miles on them at all. So I'm pretty confident just doing it this way. Okay, push rods are fine, as I knew they would be. Doesn't hurt to take a look while you got it apart. So I'll go ahead and put a tiny amount of grease on each end of the push rod, and I will go ahead, I can put the rockers right back on after I inspect the rockers. And start reassembling this side. Like I said, it's moving faster than the other side did, but it's just kind of a tedious task lashing the valves. I'm just using a real minute amount of grease on the tips of these push rods. I don't want to cause a blockage in the hole where the oil comes up. This grease is, it's real sticky. I will also put a little grease on the threads of the rocker studs, just to allow that polylock a little lubrication as I tighten down the polylock. as they used to say in those 50s hair care commercials for men, a little dab will do ya. That's what we're doing with the grease, just little dabs. All right. I'll tell you, this is the stickiest grease I've ever seen. It's by Stay Lube Extreme Pressure Stay Plex Premium Red Grease. I don't know if you can see that, but man, this stuff is sticky. And when you spread on stuff, it's like stringy. It looks like spider webs all over everything. I'm just rolling this over to make sure the push rods are down all the way. And everything's fully seated. So that way when I go to check the lash, I know everything is the way it's supposed to be. This is actually going a little faster on this side than it did on the other side, so that's a good thing. I'm not complaining about that, ain't mad about that at all. What I'm going to do now, like I did on the other side, is I'm going to roll the motor over about 4 or 5 times, and then I will recheck the lash on each one of the valves to make sure that it hasn't changed. And if the lash is the same as what I set it at, then I will go ahead and put the stud girdle on. And then after I put the stud girdle on, I forgot to mention earlier, I will again run the valves up a few times, roll the motor over a few times, and verify the lash one more time to make sure that it hasn't changed with putting on the stud girdle. Okay, when I did the other side, I put these on kind of one piece at a time, so to speak. I took the bottom bar, set it up in there, and then I took one of the top bars, set it on there, and tightened the nuts down, or the bolts down and all that. I think there's an easier way. I'm going to try it on this side. Is I kind of got it already together, but they're loose, and I'm just going to try putting it on all kind of as like one piece. Another thing I did, same as on the other side, is I greased the threads on the bolts, and I also greased down in here to get the underside of the socket head bolts here, Allen head bolts, so that way when I tighten it down, it goes nice and smooth. We don't have any galling, kind of metal on metal galling. So I think this is going to work. This is definitely easier than the way I did it last time. Oh yeah, was basically fell right on. Awesome. All right. Thank God that's done. My goodness, is that tedious. Unlike the driver's side valve cover, this valve cover has a baffle in it. So let's keep our fingers crossed that the baffle does not interfere with the stud girdle. Let's hope they don't interfere with each other. Okay, we're all done. Car's back together. I ran it, let it run for a little while, get up the temperature and all that. Everything's good. I hope you learned something about stud girdles and what they do, how they work, how they go on, stuff like that. So this takes about an hour each side to do. It took me a little longer only because I was verifying the valve lash multiple times. I just wanted to make certain it was where I wanted it before I took it out and started running through the gears, and that. So we're going to go ahead and take it out for a ride, see how it feels, and this will be one project that we were going to do either over the winter or in the spring that now we don't have to worry about. So that's it. Like I said, get out there, work on your hot rod, make some improvements to it, make it go faster, all that good stuff, make it more fun. So this car is really, really starting to become a lot of fun now. So, So that's it. Get out to the garage, work on your stuff, have a good time with it. That's why you got it. All right, cool. Take care.